Whew. So yeah, we're gonna drink to that, okay?
I need it. I'm feeling it.
So boom, I think I need to do my intro one more time. Hello, it's your favorite Melanin Moi, aka beauty.n.the.bellissimo. You're tuned back into my channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of any new content that I post. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know the vibes and how we get down. Period. I feel like I had to record that one more time, and you probably won't see this in the video. Alrighty, so let's get into this video, shall we? Long overdue Q&A, and let me explain to you why. Because I had so many questions, and it was like, bro, I cannot just answer this in like one setting, like, you know. So honestly, some of the questions I made into like other video notes to do, and I just did like ones that could just be answered pretty briefly. So like I said, also, if you didn't hit that subscribe button already, you might want to do so now. And be sure to follow me on my social medias. Alright, so let's get into it. I think I had said get ready with me. Would you look at that? I'm already ready. So, let's start with the first one. So, this one is, do you believe in soul ties? If so, how would you recommend breaking away? Well, I think a lot of times people don't believe in certain things because of the way it sounds. Like, if it sounds anything to like a spiritual or like demonic form, people will steer away from it. But I do believe in soul ties, even though you may not, which is pretty much a connection with somebody when you having sex, which is, who doesn't believe in it? So I do believe in that, the fact that you can get emotionally attached. Soul ties is pretty much like when you're tied to someone emotionally through the soul, and 9 times out of 10 is due to sex being interchanged, and you are getting an emotional connection. They're getting an emotional connection, because a lot of people don't realize like sex is going to do that regardless if you think that it won't, or you know, or in denial. It's going to be bound to having a connection, especially if it's an ongoing continuation thing. So I do believe that it's possible to get into a connection with somebody. A lot of times soul ties are used in a sense of like a negative thing, like, you know, you being tied to the wrong person. So breaking away from that, I feel, I'm trying to think. If I was in that predicament, I just probably would just stop. Like, that just always be, I'm a straightforward person. Like, it's not really necessary to beat around the bush. Like, if you know you need to do something, or you're trying to change something, or you're trying to break a connection with somebody, just stop immediately. Like, cut connections. If that person is like really somebody you don't need to be dealing with or anything, cut connections immediately. Cold turkey, block whatever is necessary, especially if there are nothing, you know, serious. Yeah, I would just, you would really have to go cold turkey. And then, since we're talking about it being like a negative connection, I would say you need to kind of go back you need to go back, and you need to ask yourself what was kind of keeping you connected to this person. That's the best answer I can give you. You know, just kind of do some shadow work, because it could be something deeper. You don't want to kind of run into the same issue that you already was in. Period. This was like a question that I got. Like, I got like 3 questions. We're talking about monogamy, poly, and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm just putting it all together. Do you believe in monogamy, and your thoughts on poly life? So first of all, I definitely believe in monogamy very much. I don't personally wouldn't do well in a relationship with a female. So poly is not for me. But if that's your thing, hey, whatever. I feel like sometimes with the whole poly thing, because you know, sometimes with that, I feel like a lot of times it's either one-sided, like one wants to be wanting that, and the other wants to want that. It's not all the time like a mutual thing. So I would say if it's not your thing, don't do it. It's no reason. It's so many people out here to be in a relationship with. It's no reason you're settling down being in a relationship with multiple people that you don't even, that's nothing that you want to do. I feel like if you have that kind of like traditional monogamous mentality when it comes to actually being in a relationship with somebody, I feel like you should continue with that. I always have said, and I'll say it again, same-sex relationships come with a lot of emotional, overload from what I can see. I've never been in one, but I can see that wouldn't work well for me. So that's why I have not been in a relationship like that. But I personally don't feel like it's for me. But you asked for you, so I don't think. I think if you are monogamous, you need to just stay monogamous and kind of keep treading that water that way. Do you think it's possible to commit to one person for a lifetime? Yes. Why do everybody keep asking this question? To me, I feel like, and I just saw like a TikTok not too long ago where I want to say it was both a guy and a girl had said it. They were like doing interviews. It was either an interview or a podcast. And they were saying like, oh my, like to sleep with the same person for a lifetime. When I say, if you ever hear somebody say that, just know like you need to run for the hills, because I feel like it's a maturity thing. It's a maturity thing. When you come to the conclusion, and I'm not trying to be like provocative right now, but it's just real talk. When you come to the conclusion and like the realization with sex, it could come better with a big butt, bigger boobs, a nice six-pack, or whatever the case may be. But guess what? The climax is still going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, and I think about that even when people like ruin their relationships or, cheat and all that kind of stuff. It's like at the end of the day, you just did something that I could have did or that your partner could have did, and it would have still happened the same way. It may have been a different moment. It may have been a different vibe. But at the end of the day, after that climax is done, it's still the same thing. Like you're still going back to the same reality that you tried to escape from. So I feel like that's why that never was just really my thing. But I do feel like you can be committed to one person. I feel like if you have settled down with the right person and you're choosing the right person to settle down with, I feel like it would not be no question or hesitation to you being able to commit to a person, especially sexually, for a lifetime. And that's why I always been big on connection and like the feel, not to be like the feel in the sense of like, oh, I like him and stuff like that, but like actual, what do I feel? What's my vibe around you? What's the energy like? Because all of that really plays a role in sex to me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that all plays a role. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely possible. It's just a matter of sexual maturity. Because like I said, when you have a connection with somebody, and then especially if you're in a relationship and y'all are doing things, building a relationship in a healthy way, sex is going to be amazing for years, even till you get old. You know what I'm saying? Sex is an activity of bonding. You know what I'm saying? It's not like going to the gym. It's like you literally are aroused to do it. I don't know how else to really say that, but it's very possible. And I don't know why the generation thinks that you can't be with one person. I think it's like a sexual maturity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who are past their sexual peak in life will agree that you can be with one person for the rest of your life. Or like commit to one person for a long time. I think it's just a matter of sexual maturity. Because if you're very sexually impulsive, or if you get bored easy, that's a sexual impulsivity. Certain things along those lines doesn't really give like longevity when it comes to you being in a relationship for a long time, which means that that's not probably for you. Next question. Okay, something fun. How do you get the spice back in your relationship after you have a kid? Well, I would say it's hard. It's hard. It's going to be hard. And I say that because you never really know what is happening on a woman's end. Like, granted, men, are going to be affected by any, pregnancy as well. But a lot of times the whole aftermath with the sexuality and getting back up and getting back into the groove, that really has a lot to do with the woman. Because the men, not most likely, like they literally will wait. You know what I'm saying? Or be the ones to, kind of wait till you kind of get yourself back in the groove. But I would I would say you doing what's necessary to get your body in a way that you're attracted to. Because once you kind of get your sexual feels back, especially being a mom, especially if you're a new mom, once you kind of get your groove back, you'll be more confident to hop back into sex, or, be more, sexual with your partner, or just intimate. That's the word I want to use. You'll be more intimate with your partner, or to do certain things, even if it's a matter of, okay, you feeling good walking around the house in lingerie. It's something I did, just for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Doing it for yourself. Just getting more back in tune with your body. I think that is just kind of like the only way. And then talking to your partner, like, okay, I don't really feel sexy, you know what I'm saying, after this baby. So what are we talking about? Like, find out what suggestions that they could do. Because a lot of times, if they know about it, they'll be more inclined to start things, or, to join in. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about you bringing the spice all the time. They'll be able to bring some spices too. You know what I'm saying? We'll just be mixing seasonings of suggestions to keep this thing going. So I think that's an important thing. Talk to your spouse or your man or whoever, whatever you got going on, and kind of figure out what's the best suggestion moving forward, because that's important. That's important. To kind of get your groove back after that baby. Do you feel like a relationship is necessary to have a child? I'm giving up on hope with finding love. Ladies, I know we may have been through some rough times in our life, right? But to me, going into having a kid without a relationship is a recipe for disaster, right? And I hate to say it, and you're gonna come from me, I don't care. It's very selfish when you think about it, right? Anytime I have heard women talk about like having a kid without a relationship and stuff like that, they may have had like other reasons they wanted to sugarcoat. But a lot of times it boiled down to one thing, and that was wanting someone that will love them. And wanting the love of a child without the relationship. Or without wanting to have a man for it. That is selfish, and I say because as a child, you need both of your parents. So as a woman, I feel if you go into having a child with somebody and you already are having the intentions of dysfunction, you please don't bring that child in this world. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Because you're not ready. You're not ready. Anybody with that mentality is not ready, because the load that comes with having a child needs 2 roles to fill it. And it's sad that we are so toxic in this society that we're so used to either broken homes or, toxic co-parenting and stuff like that, that we have really come to this point of just wanting to bear the load by yourself. And then what happens then? Then we're crying a river, right? Because you just asked for that baby. You never asked how you want it. You got to be careful how you say stuff too, because hold on. Sorry, child. My man came in. I had to submit. So where were we at? Right? Okay, yeah. So we were talking about having kids in dysfunctional situations. So yeah, I don't feel like you're ready, and anybody who thinks that, and honestly, that's on man or woman part, because like I said, you're already going into it being dysfunctional. There are going to be 1,000,001 things that could possibly come down the pipe, being a parent, whether that's married, together, whatever the case may be. So to go into it with those negative and wrong intentions, I don't agree with it. You know, people are doing whatever they want to do these days. By all means, continue to do so. But it's like, don't kind of complain on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be talking about, oh, how much of a load it is, because it is a load. Okay, whether you are single or with a partner. You can't go kind of like a crying wolf when things, when the hardships that are naturally going to come with being a parent hit you, and then it kind of has you kind of regretting maybe that decision. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Got to stop playing with peace. Okay. What are some good ways to become attractive? I would say becoming attractive to yourself first. When you literally are attractive to yourself, you don't really care about the outside. You know what I'm saying? I know for myself, when I was, my locks gave me so much oomph. You know, because I went through the ugly phase, I went through the annoying phase, the every phase that I didn't like already. And I'm still in like a bit of a slight phase, but not really, because now since I put my shells in, I got a little hang time. But to me, I would literally probably go outside looking like maybe a bum to other people, but I was so attracted to myself. You know, I don't have to worry about putting a wig on or doing certain things like that. So I'm saying that to say, maybe finding little things about you that is attractive for just you. Maybe you want to change your hair. Maybe you want to dye your hair, you know. Maybe I'm not really into the whole surgery thing, you know. So I don't think that that's a real way to become attractive, because I feel like it's almost like people always gonna talk about pick me. BBLs can kind of be, because it's like, you know, you're gonna get the attention. You know what I'm saying? You know you're gonna get the attention. So it's like, be sure of the attention that you want to get. That's all I'm saying. Be sure of the attention that you want to get. But I say just do natural things to be attractive. Like I said, changing hair and stuff like that. Finding out who you are, maybe might be your best bet too, because then you can kind of see what type of attraction do you have, do you want, are you looking for in other people, like certain things like that are good questions to be asking yourself to get to the root of the problem. Let's see. Okay. I hate sex while pregnant, and I don't feel my partner support. I'm not sure what else to do, and I don't want him to go elsewhere. Here we go, another one. It's hard, like I said earlier. It's hard when it comes to sex and getting your body back. When I say your body does a full I can't even say 360. You know, it does that twice. It's a lot getting your body back. Sometimes your body's never going to be the exact same as it was, or it's definitely not going to be the exact same, but not even maybe in a way that you even remember. You never know if the pregnancy, and I think you did say, oh, I'm sorry, you're pregnant now. Okay. I think that's a conversation. It's definitely a conversation. A lot of women can be not attractive, can be not attracted to having anything sexually. You have people who are overly sexually, you know what I'm saying, during pregnancy. But it really just depends on who you are. I feel like a conversation is had. I really hope that, you know, you have somebody who's past that sexual peak. Especially when you bring a child into a situation, just like certain things like that really do play a part. And even if they're not, maybe definitely getting a doula immediately. You need some emotional support, because that is already hard, and a lot of times you have situations where men do step out on their women. I'm telling you, that's a sad situation. And I was like, I remember when Summer Walker surgery came out, you know, and that was one thing I thought about a lot. And I was just like really thankful, like, that I didn't have to go through that type of experience, because I already got enough problems. You know what I'm saying? Trying to really not kill a nigga while I'm pregnant would probably not be mine. Like, I don't have time for that. So I just hope that, you know, you have a supportive partner. And if not, if he really loves you and he really wants this whole situation to work, he will become supportive. And if not, You already know. So therefore, don't listen to me when it comes to. Don't listen to me when it comes to the not, because my baby, I'm gonna tell you to go. I'm gonna tell you to go because what is the point if staying is not doing any good for you? What are we talking about? But see, people don't always want to hear that straightforward. So just to say that, hear the other things that I said. Because what, my boy, I wish you would. Any suggestions for getting out? Getting out of what? Next, dating advice for 30 and over. You know, if I live to see the 30, that would be a sight to see. I feel like this is my golden advice for one. Even if I hypothetically ever became single and was dating in my 30s, I always have said this, right? I said your 20s is for growth and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times, a lot more growing pains happen when you're dating in your 20s because you're dealing with not only the natural things that come with just being 20 in your 20 somethings, but you're also like dealing with fundamentals of having relationships and stuff. Past 30, for me, personally, there's just not a lot of things to tolerate. And I really don't feel like people should, especially if you're a female that's sure of herself, knows what she has going on, knows what she wants to do. Dating over 30, you'll be playing games just like you did in your 20s if you do the same in your 30s, because age is really nothing but a number. Experience and everything matters. So I would say certain things for me, like credit, career, needs to be in line. You know what I'm saying? For yourself and then also for your partner. Like, I feel like in your 20s, okay, it's hard to really say a man has to have everything together in their 20s. You know, and I've come to like really be a little bit more realistic, because it's easy to say you want all those things when you see social media making millionaires at 25. You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't expect everybody to be 25 and a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you never know the upbringing somebody had and lack of resources. And a lot of times females will really sit up there and act like they have it all together. And we don't. We don't. So I would say by 30 though, you need to date in serious. If the credit ain't right, it ain't right for you. You know what I'm saying? Job needs to be established. Career path needs to be there. If you have kids, that needs to be in order. I just feel like it just needs to be a lot more rhythm, soft rhythm with dating in 30s. Like, it can't be this complicated, you know, because if you're not, like I said, in the 20s, I would say some stuff you might have to be a little bit realistic with, because like I said, everybody's not millionaires but before 30. You know, that is just a social media trend. But what I can say is by 30 though, because I look at how I view myself by 30. By 30, I have major things happening, you know. So I'm going to need somebody to keep up with that pace. You understand? So I would strongly suggest like those two things. And then find out for yourself, like, what do you really want at 30? Because you might have some time to play around. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who do have time to play around will be less serious about the next step, or less serious about who they're dating, who they're getting involved with, who they're entertaining. You have time in your hands, you know. But if you don't, you're asking the question that you need to be asking, so that way you can get better results than what you've been getting. You know what I'm saying? So especially if you're, you know, still pretty traditional, you want to get married and stuff like that, no time. Filter through those, you know, individuals very fast. But I would say those are my thing. Like, you gotta, at the end of the day, there's definitely no way that we're pulling 30-year-olds through problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, your 20s, not really even. But if you're in your 30s, it's going to be it just looks a little different. Like, you not being able to fall back on yourself is a problem at 30. Yeah, your credit honestly becomes a really big deal, because you could always have something to fall back on. Not to say like, all right, if you got bad credit, then that can't, you know what I'm saying? Shit happens. But, or things happen. So I'm not going to say you can't, but I'm just saying like people that's a little bit more serious about certain things like that may be a good sign. But other than that, I would just say just serious, more like Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Like, if you already made it through the 20s, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
I need some love, some affection, some love, affection.